Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Tiamo and I'm amazing. Today I wanted to touch on something that is very familiar, at least to me, and that is how to stop forcing things and pouring your energy where it is embraced. I found this very relatable because yeah, I've been through that a lot, and maybe I might have pretended at some point not to care about it or to try and conceal it, for various reasons. And I wanted to delve into them today. And yeah, let's get into the video. Okay, girl, I really had to change the setting, but you still see me, you still hear me, hopefully. And if the lighting is not giving, girl, apologies, sis. I'll be looking into my laptop from time to time, so don't mind this. Yeah, with forcing things, some people do not get the message, and some get it at least, a bit much later. And unfortunately, this does not, benefit them, and it really doesn't. And it's a shame, but we all go through this. Even the people who are less likely to force things, we a lot of times go through this unknowingly, even, and realize it at a much later stage. And that is simply okay. I feel like as long as you know and you realize the steps, you're going to be okay. In situations, you're going to be okay. And it doesn't now mean we should, blame ourselves or victim blame or blame others for seeing it too late or try to make them see it as quick, because we don't all realize things at the same time. And that is simply okay. I'm just saying, if you realize that some of these things apply to you and you're able to make the change, make it. No more excuses, babe. No more excuses. And that's on period. I'm gonna point out why we force things and how to counter it, basically attached to each other. So I'll mention the point and then briefly explain it and then go into how to counter this behavior. So, the first thing would be low self worth. This is when you have a really negative opinion, overall opinion about yourself, and you're consistently criticizing yourself, overly criticizing yourself, and devaluing yourself, especially your abilities, your quirks, thinking, others are better than you, and making comparisons for this reason. And this is not a good way to live, because in as much as we make comparisons, I feel like when these comparisons get detrimental to your well-being, that's when you should stop. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that comparing yourself to someone else is not going to happen. It is bound to happen, but you can limit it, by trusting your journey and trusting that things will work out. You need to hold on to that belief. No matter what, you need to hold on to it and actually lie to yourself, fake it till you make it type of situation. And baby, I am telling you for sure, those comparisons will decrease surely with time, especially as you bump up, your self worth. So, countering this would be investing in yourself. This means what you're interested in, what you like, finding out who you are as a person, not relative to others, but just who you are as an individual, and what you like, what you're interested in, what you can try and be much better at, and try and bump up your skills in that field, or try and look for things that you've always wanted to do but haven't done because you maybe felt intimidated and so forth. Guys, maybe people are watching, maybe everyone is watching, and maybe everyone is criticizing what you're doing, but it's all about you. Do you want to do it? Is this for you? These are the kind of questions you should be asking yourself. And really, starting something new is really daunting. Trust me, it's scary. Especially when you're young, it's really scary. There's the failure aspect of it, there's the judgment aspect of it, there's the, you know, condescending comments, just everything that is attached with some starting something new. And I just want to say, just do it, because you're gonna regret it. If you don't do it, you're gonna regret it, and no one likes to live in regret, because at the end of the day, you can't really get back that time. Sure, it's never too late, but if you feel like you can do it, go on and do it. It's just like, it's the time. Now is the time to do all of these things, honestly. Um, Working on your self esteem and how you see yourself. Look, everyone has insecurities. I have insecurities. And it's always so surprising, to encounter people and to be in contact with people who always think that I don't. I do. I have a lot of insecurities. I just don't let them consume me. That's something very, important, because in letting these things consume you, since you're not gonna be who you need to be, you're not gonna be the hot babe that you need to be, you're not gonna be the gorgeous, gorgeous girl that you need to be. And trust me, that's who you're trying to be. Because when you think you're gorgeous, let me tell you, other people start thinking you're gorgeous, period. Yes, I said it. Okay. And you need to feel yourself. Like, you need to feel yourself. Because ain't nobody trying to fill up on you if you ain't trying to feel yourself. Period. Trust me. Like, it all starts with you. This whole, journey starts with you. The journey to loving yourself starts with you. No one can do a better job of loving you the way you want to be loved than yourself. People can love you more than you love yourself, but to do a better job than them is up to you. Honestly, it's up to you. And I know this is a very, a touchy subject, about self-love and stuff like that, but I feel like if you can do it, then do it, babes. Do it, and this goes in conjunction with your self-image, your self-importance and community. um you can change all of these things. You can work on all of these things, and you need to believe that you can. Because if you don't believe, you can materialize all of these things. And it's simple. It's simple to believe than not to believe, honestly. um I'd like to think, at least in my case, if your community is dragging you down, you need to change your community. Community is supposed to bump it up for you, not down it down for you. And this is something that is so hard to do, especially if your community is, a lot of blood relatives and like people that you are forced to be in contact with, and so forth and so forth. But look, we're in the new age now, and if a window of possibility presents itself, I would say you should take it and stop, beating about the bush about it. You need to have some courage. And now, I don't want anyone coming back and be like, yo, I ran away from home and stuff like don't do such drastic decisions, okay? If you need to go to school to get a job so you can be independent, then that's what you do. And then you move. Period. Like, you need to think of really practical ways to achieve this. You can't just do something drastic and, not have a plan at the end. Let us move on to making face. So, making face is all about perception, is how you want others to perceive you. Um, wanting to be liked, placed on a pedestal, and or maybe fitting in. And whilst this is not bad, we all need community. But when you're stretching yourself, too thin to achieve this, like people pleasing, as a past people pleaser, this is hitting home. But yeah, like people pleasing, which is usually linked to low self-worth, believe it or not. um I feel like is something that you should sit down and see if you have. Why are you trying to be who you're not? Just to impress other people and to have them perceive you in a way that doesn't serve who you are, doesn't serve the greater picture of who you are and your essence, and just who you'd like to be, I guess, in the future. You need to get people who will accept you for who you are, no matter who that is. And given that that is not something very unbearable, I guess, in a toxic way. To counter this, you have to figure out what is missing in you or in your life. I say this because this is what would force you to bend backwards, over backwards for people who wouldn't do the same. That's a burden to you. That's something you don't want to go around carrying around. It's too heavy. I salute people who've done it. I continuously, salute them, but it's too much. No one should have to go through that. No one should have to go through that. And the inner work is paramount because that is what will help you in this journey in discovering what is missing, why it's missing, when it started missing, and how you can change this for yourself in your own personal life. You get. And although these confrontations are not the most fun to make, they are the most beneficial. um and this I should warn against consistently trying to find a problem with yourself, because look, you can't solve all the problems you have in the world. You just, it's near impossible. And consistently trying to do that is gonna get you to a point of burnout, and that's where you don't want to be, period. So do as much as you can and take it from there. As I always say, real interaction with others is the only one that will tell you whether you're making real progress relative to others. um and yeah, because it's easier to work on yourself when you're not interacting with others, because you can be perfect. I mean, it's one person, you're dealing with one person, which is yourself. You don't have to deal with other people's moods, ideas, opinions. Look, you don't have to confront all of that if you're alone. But once other people come into the mix, honey, trust me, it gets messy. And yeah, that's why, that is the most important, because you need to be able to deal with that mess when it happens, if it happens, that is. Now I want to touch on low abundance mindset, because I feel like these are ideas that some people have actually grown to believe, and that is that they'll never find someone, um you know someone like them, or they'll never find someone like you. Like, you think that you will never find someone like them, or vice versa even. And that is so untrue, because there's so many people in this world, guys. Like, there's so many people that you haven't even met, that you don't even know will love on you the way you want to be loved, will respect you the way you want to be respected. And yeah, get rid of it today. Get rid of it today. And this is not to excuse the good qualities that the people that you feel like, you don't want to lose, um, don't have. This is not to say that they're just bad and this is just like, they're so horrific and horrible and stuff. But sometimes their good qualities or their bad qualities don't necessarily align with yours, and can't take you to a greater, height. That is, they can't, they just they just don't do this. They just don't intersect at a point at which it's mutually beneficial. And you should come to terms with that. And some people have good qualities, but they will not present them to you. They have people, that they reserve such treatment for. And if you're not part of that group, you're just not part of that group, period. That's it. That's it. Those qualities that they present to you, at least, are not good enough to foster a healthy relationship, to foster a healthy friendship, you know? And although this is very hard to accept, the truth will set you free. Even though it might piss you off first, that's exactly what I will do. And it will bring ease into your life, peace into your life, healing into your life. And I feel like those are the greatest gifts that one could have in one's life, given to by themselves. How to counter this is to stop placing limitations on who can be good to you. Like I said, there are a lot of people in this world, and the people that you might not want to entertain, you know, as being part of your life might actually be the people who will show you the best love, the best companionship, the best friendship, the best of the best there is, to give. And sometimes we're really quick to write people off when we shouldn't. It plays a great deal. It plays a great deal in how we see ourselves. Because, like I said, we place community on a pedestal, whether we like it or not. So, obviously, other people impact our journeys a lot. Other people impact our journeys a lot. However, we need to know when to not use what they give to us and when to use it. Because whatever actions a person presents to you, you always kind of like think that it's about you, and it's not. Some things are not to be taken personal. If a person treats you badly, it's not personal. It's just about them, not about you. And the quicker you learn that is, the better you can set yourself free. And yeah, just don't limit yourself. Don't limit people. Don't underestimate what people can give to you, the goodness that they can give to you. In as much as you're always anticipating the bad, just don't. Just try. Go out of your way to try and do that. Moving on to non reciprocal relationships. This speaks volumes because reciprocation is given to people we deem important, and if it's not granted to us in certain relationships, best believe it is given somewhere else, elsewhere, to other important people, to people who matter that much to them, to people they're willing to go, the distance for. And I think realizing that and stop making excuses for those individuals will ultimately be the best course of action, because we try and make excuses for people when we try to see the good in them and stuff like that. But what if there's no good? What if there is no good? Then what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, sis? You gotta see people for who they are. You have to have the strength to see them for who they are. That will be the best discernment you can have in your life, and stop living in limerence. That's not gonna cut it. It's just not gonna cut it. See it for what it is. See it for how it's been presented to you, and you will be able to make the right decisions when the time comes. So, how to counter this is by seeking out reciprocal relationships, ones that feed into you as you feed into them. And it's not the easiest thing, but it's doable. Definitely doable. um and make it known that that's what you want. Sometimes that's the best thing you can give yourself and to the other person. Make it known that this is what you want. Girl, if I'm supporting you and I'm cheering you on and I'm there for you when you need me, best believe that's what I want when it's my turn. Because if I don't get that from you, it feels like I just be doing it in vain. And people be like, no, you give with the expectation of getting. Maybe that's the case. Maybe that's the case. Maybe that's the case. I give without expecting when I do. When I don't really have a close relationship with someone. Or in some instances, but it can't be every time, guys. Like, you can't give without expecting every single time. There has to be some sort of expectation attached to it. Like, because that's the best way to, not let yourself down and know who has the capability to feed into you, to feed into your journey, and to help you grow. It's the best way, because if you don't have an expectation, then anyone can do matanda. Anyone can do matanda. And if people do matanda in your life, I've got a Bible of things that will happen in your life. Trust me. And I feel like, nah, y'all should cut it out. Y'all should cut it out, because it's definitely not gonna work in the long run, and you're gonna be so resentful. You know, You're gonna be so resentful because you keep on wondering, why isn't this person doing this? I do this and I do this and I do that, but they don't do anything. They don't do anything. Like, one thing I've noted is that, people destroy friendship dynamics by not wanting to grow together, and that's okay. And that's okay. Because you find that sometimes both parties don't even want to part, or one party doesn't want to, and it's really complex. Because I feel like you can grow with anyone, despite how, you know, despite the disparity that exists between your journeys and where you're going. You can grow with anyone who's in your life. It just takes a lot of uncomfortable, you know, conversations, which lead to uncomfortable growth. Shout out. And yeah, it's complex, but with the necessary tools and intention, I feel like anything is achievable. Anything in relationship and friendship is achievable, and the truth is always the best medicine to any type of ailment in a relationship. Okay, let's move on to operating from our ego. Look, I get that we should feel ourselves as people, like think like, woo, I'm the best, da 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 da. Yeah, feel yourself, zichele and do that. But there are limitations to that. Now, when you feel like you're the best a person has ever had, you made them, you helped them, they are nothing without you. Now, excuse you, who says that's the truth? Anyone else could have done that for them, I feel like. You know how they usually say people are replaceable? Um, yeah. And maybe perhaps it's not 100% replaceability, but look, there is someone out there who is more similar to you than you know. So I feel like stepping away from that is the best course of action. You're forcing things. What if the person doesn't want to be with you anymore? And when these are your preconceived ideas about yourself, you let your ego control you and control your life. Now, the solution to this would be getting off that high horse. Bitch, you're not God. You are not God. And trust me when I say that. Like, some people want to be God so bad, and it's like you don't even have half the characteristics he does. Period. Period. And it's a shame. It's a shame to even think you could, replace God in that way. It's really startling, actually, maybe even appalling. And for me, that is a point of interrogation. Usually people who have, a very enlarged sense of self, um, are operating from some kind of deficit, and that's where they should do their work. And I feel that no one deserves to, go through that, because that is abusive. I really hope you enjoyed this video and you will stop forcing things, because it's 2022. It's about 2023 at this time, and we are done doing that. Look, if someone doesn't want to vibe with you, there's so many people in this world, and step, literally step. Catch me on the next video, and give it a thumbs up, share, like, and subscribe, and let's go up.